Hey everybody, it's Digital Asset Guy. I'm taking a walk after dinner, one of my favorite things to do, and I'm by another body of water. It's a little lake or a pond, I don't know. A little closer to home this time, but it's still a good one. So I just thought I'd turn the camera on and talk to you all about crypto. There's a lot of really interesting things going on, I'll tell you. Today, the news just dropped. I've been hearing from friends and higher-ups that this news was going to drop, but Truth Social, basically the Trump family, they applied for an ETF. They're calling the Blue Chip Crypto ETF, I believe, is what they're calling it, and it's going to contain Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana. I heard a couple different things. It seemed like it was going to contain the digital assets that Trump tweeted about or posted about on Truth Social, saying they were going to be in the digital asset stockpile. It looked like those assets, but I didn't see Cardano, which is a little strange, but I don't know. The funny thing is XRP is always kind of mentioned, and man, when he made that first post on Truth Social, he didn't even have Bitcoin and Ethereum in it at the beginning. He just came out and said it'll include XRP, Solana, Cardano. I believe it was those three, and then he didn't even say Bitcoin and Ethereum for an hour. About an hour. It was really wild. Bitcoin maxis, Ethereum people, they were going nuts. They were posting, what the heck? How could this be? And then he comes on an hour later and says, well, of course it'll include Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin and Ethereum both, as you know, and all that. But boy, it was wild before he came out and made that tweet. But I think it is super interesting right now how everything's so gray with the whole Bitcoin reserve and the strategic digital asset stockpile. It is so gray, but just going from experience, love him or hate him, Donald Trump, he doesn't usually just tweet things or post things, without backing it up or without it coming to fruition. I mean, I don't want to get totally political, but I don't think he made that post, for no reason. It's very, very gray right now, but we've got pictures of Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati, at Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago with the ship painting in the background. Trump's doing a thumbs up and Stuart Alderati's pointing over at him. And I was in the room with some of these people at XRP Vegas, and I'm like, what's going on with the strategic reserve? XRP's in that thing. It was named first, and it's just funny. A lot of them were under NDAs, and they just kind of have this smirk, and they're like, oh, it's in there. And, you could just tell they know things, but I just think it's so funny how it's so gray right now, and the market is just so primed. So primed. This feels almost like 2017, back when I was in about 2015, 16, fooling around trying to mine Ethereum. And I just remember Bitcoin rocketed up to 20,000, and Ethereum was like $25 when I started. It rockets up to like 1,000 a coin in a couple months. And I just remember how it felt before that. It felt kind of boring, but people were kind of optimistic about crypto. Altcoins were just getting started. But now we've got all this legislation and the Genius Act, stable coins. XRP has like 21 ETFs that are on the table. I think they're probably going to be approved. I mean, it's pretty crazy. It just seems like quite a time. I just, in my personal opinion, I think it's almost becoming foolish to not have any exposure to crypto. I mean, I'm a crypto guy, you know, I'm really in this thing. But the average person, if you don't have any crypto, I don't know. At this point, it's pretty much a done deal that this thing is gonna play a large role in the world economy, especially for millennials and younger. So just incredible to me what's going on. So there's also some other things I wanted to talk about. Exchanges. I have people reaching out asking me, you know, what do I suggest? Where do I hold things? I'm not going to say specifics. I mean, I'll tell you, I've had a Coinbase account since like 2016. I remember the only digital assets you could buy were Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And that is actually, where I bought my first Bitcoin at about 3,000. But anyway, Coinbase, you know, it's been pretty good to me, but, you know, I've seen it go down in bull runs. Oh, it's a nice dot. I've seen it go down in bull runs. You know, I've had them send me emails when things get kind of heated where they say, you know, due to a large volume of users, we're suspending external wallet transfers and withdrawals. That's a problem. That's pretty scary. It's never, you know, affected me, luckily, in like a time where I needed to do stuff. But I think the only way that you can really, not go wrong is if you're diverse. You know, I think cold storage is essential, where you're the only one with those private keys. I think Coinbase One is a good program. You pay $30 a month, you get less trading fees. I have called them and messed around, and they're pretty responsive. But now the newest player in the game are crypto institutional grade custodians, and there's a few of those that I'm using now. I don't want to give all the specifics. If you're interested in exploring this, having a custodian hold your crypto, where it is their job to hold your crypto, and you know, not like an exchange like Coinbase or Uphold. They're just an exchange. They're just to buy and sell, you know. Their job isn't really to hold your crypto, but a custodian it is. And I'm working with one right now who I worked with for about a year when some major things went down in my life, and it even has to do with my retirement. But anyway, at some point I'll do a video on it. But this crypto custodian I'm working with now, they've just been on it. They call me, I can call them about any time. You know, I trust them very much. And I know people by name over there. I met some of them at XRP Las Vegas too, and they've just been really great. If you're wanting to know more about that, give me a call or a direct message. I can help set you up. Again, I don't give financial advice. I just try to help people out with, you know, what I'm suggesting, you know, what I do. And I never advise people or give people advice or give people tips or whatever on anything that I don't do myself and I don't know is good. So if you're interested in learning more about that, there's also custody. Crypto custodians is another huge tool that you can use. And then there's also crypto IRAs, which I know a thing or two about nowadays. I had a really crazy 2024. A couple of my close friends and people know what actually went down, but it was a crazy story. I couldn't think it up any crazier. And at some point I'm going to make a video and tell everybody what happened. And I mean, I'll just give you a snippet. About 10 months ago, I thought I was going to die of disappointment and something just really going wrong that I thought was going to be great. That's another video though. I'm going to do another video on that. But the point is, got me in a position where I could make some big moves with retirement funds and getting into crypto IRAs, which I think might be probably are going to be the move of the century. I know people think it's crazy, but if you look at the new economy and what's going on right now with the legislation, I don't think it's crazy at all. I think it's crazy to not have any exposure. So, interesting times. Update on my Twitter X account. Still not able to get back. I've talked to some higher ups. I put in some of my other videos. I might have to make a new account, even though, I have my digital asset guy logo and everything. I might have to find a way to be digital asset guy 2.0 or something. But it is super interesting how I got suspended the day after that Trump Tower video. I've been told rumors that I've been shadow banned and the video got millions of views, but they shadow banned it where I think it only got a couple thousand. Really, really weird stuff. Folks, I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on with it, but it is kind of funny. And then Elon Musk is coming out saying he supports Bitcoin, not necessarily crypto. So who knows? Maybe he got on, saw the Trump Tower doorman guy saying, yeah, it's a done deal. It's gonna go off, for XRP. And funny how this ETF with the Trumps comes down. The news was at least dropped like today or yesterday. So maybe there is some reason why he didn't want my video. Frankly, I'm still shocked that the doorman let me take that little video. I mean, it wasn't a huge deal. He's just saying, I know about XRP, it's going to go off, and but he works for Trump, and he was very excited about it. I was like, why are you stopping me? But anyway, that video is not misinformation. It's just two guys talking about XRP. One of them works for Trump, and apparently a bunch of people reported that as misinformation or spam, which it is not. But anyway, it's very interesting. Makes me more bullish, to be honest. They're not going to shut me down. They're just not, because I know what's going on. I have very good reason to believe from the people that I've met at XRP Vegas, and I've been in this ball game for almost a decade. I just think there's some really huge things coming. I think that we're primed for an announcement. Like I was saying at the beginning with the strategic reserve, and Trump kind of tweeting that, and now it's in a gray area. I don't know, but I'm just saying I could see something happening, like some kind of announcement saying, hey, or Trump wouldn't say it like that. He'd post something or say in a speech, let it be known, I tweeted in February or whenever that was, I can't remember right now, the strategic digital asset stockpile will contain XRP, Cardano, Solana, and whatever ones there were. I could see him coming out and saying, folks, I posted that for a reason. We're going to have those. The XRP Ripple SEC lawsuit has finally come to a conclusion. They're going back to the original settlement terms, which was $125 million, and they're going to pay it in XRP. Ripple is going to pay the SEC $125 million in XRP, and that is going into the digital asset stockpile, and it'll be the first that we have in there, and it's going to be great, folks, and XRP is going to the moon, or something like that, and all of a sudden, here we go. I'm not saying I know that. I'm totally speculating here. I'm just saying the market, it's so primed, and we're in that stage where we're ready for the euphoric part. I just see some kind of announcement like that coming along. So we'll see if I'm right. The other day I was doing an imitation of Christopher Walken. I can't remember. I was fooling around with some friends, and they kept telling me I need to make a show where I do impersonations of people, and I was doing Donald Trump and Christopher Walken in an argument about crypto, and it was like Trump was like, Chris, I'm telling you, if you have no exposure to crypto, I know I was a skeptic and I tweeted and said, I am not a fan of crypto and Bitcoin. It's based on thin air and all that, but I'm telling you, times are different because we're going to be the crypto capital of the world. Probably the best announcement in human history, to be quite frank with you. And then Christopher Walken was like, well, Donald, I mean, I know that you know what you're talking about with these things, but I mean, what about hacks? Everybody gets hacked. My nephew got hacked. I mean, who knows how this stuff really works on the internet? I mean, I want to go to a bank where I can see my teller and get my money. I mean, I didn't think it was that funny, but people say I need to do like a show where I'm doing imitations or something. Huh, look at that little guy running. It's funny. Hi, geese. All right. Thanks for coming on a walk with me. Before I go, I just want to say these videos, they're kind of silly, but people keep telling me you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to be more serious and you need to have an office where you're talking about crypto and showing charts and you really get serious. That's not what I want to do. I don't need to do that. This is just kind of for fun. It's like 25% educational, teach people, 25% for fun, 25% for me to keep an emotional log of what I'm thinking at these times, because I have emotional logs from 2016 and 17 where I can't believe the things that I wrote down and the videos that I have, where I'm talking about, Ethereum just broke $200 and it's Thanksgiving and and it's just amazing. We never thought it would break 100 and it just broke 200, and it's so amazing to look back in an emotional log. And then in the tough times, like I remember when FTX collapsed, I made a little video where I'm kind of a little cocky in it, and I'm like, FTX just collapsed, but I don't care. Everybody thinks crypto's over, but I'm buying, and I've got ice in my veins, and I look back on that. That was the time to buy. Not financial or investment advice, but that was a really good time. And so when you look back and you study your own behavior and thoughts, it could really help you, especially in the tough times. So yeah, I do these videos also to just record what's going on at this time, and it's all time stamped, so a couple of different reasons why I do these, but I really enjoy them. Again, if you want any help with your crypto or you just want to learn a little bit more, reach out to me. I've got plenty of people I'm helping right now, but I'll get to you as soon as I can. That's all for today. Hope you're out enjoying the beautiful weather as well. Digital Asset Guy out.